Hello and welcome to Love of Film. My name is Jamie, and today we have a guest that I actually can't believe we have. We have Ned Luke, and if you're not familiar with who Ned Luke is, he is the actor who did the performance capture for Michael DeSanta in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, Ned is a cool guy. He's a gamer. He's always online. If you see him on TikTok, he's always playing with fans and stuff like that. So he's a dude who really took this character to heart, and myself as a big fan of the games, I still play GTA 5. It's just really surreal to be talking to Michael, you know? It's weird, but also great. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. Hey, Ned. Nice to meet you, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
What is happening, Jamie?
Things are good. I'm excited to talk to you, man. I'm a huge GTA fan, so it's a treat to talk to yourself, somebody who not only worked on one of these games, but the biggest game, and one was, say, one of the lead roles as well. It's awesome, man.
What up?
The biggest.
That's right. Fucking A.
So Ned, you know, of course.
Just don't let Steven or Solo hear you say that. That's all.
Now, of course, you're Michael DeSanta, but you're not just Michael DeSanta. You're Ned Luke, and you're an actor who's been in many things. You've been over 100 TV commercials. You're in 29, say, movies, films. You've been in a lot of things. Where did your acting journey begin?
High school. I got into drama class in high school. I was an athlete. I was football. I played football and ran track. I was a pole vaulter. And so I was like straight A student. So I took the drama class because that's where the girls were. You know, you got to be smart about things, right? So, but I actually fell in love with it. And I did a couple plays in high school. And then I went to the University of Illinois to run track. And I told my dad when I was going there, I said, yeah, I think I'm going to be a theater major. And he said, quote unquote, this is him talking, not me. You're not running around on a stage in a tutu with a bunch of homos. And then when I shattered my leg, I wasn't able to pole vault anymore. And, you know, I was a business major. It sucked, you know? So I kind of did a couple of, I did a couple plays when I was in college. I did one during the summer, and then I did one actually in school. And then I left college, and I, you know, I'm going to go do this thing, you know? So, but that's where it started, was in high school. I did, my drama teacher came up to me after, you know, during drama class one day and said, hey, I want you to do a play. I said, I can't do a play. I got, you know, we just finished football. We, you know, played for the state championship. And I was like, I had like 3 weeks before track started. And he goes, I go, I got track coming. He goes, well, how soon? I said, like 3 weeks. He goes, that's perfect. We can do a play in that time. What do you want to do? And I said, I just seen Wizard of Oz. So I said, well, okay, I figured this would shut him up. I go, let's do Wizard of Oz. I'll be the Scarecrow. He goes, great idea. So we did. We put it up in 3 weeks, and I did it, and I was just hooked after that, man. It was so much fun. That's the first time I ever like did song and dance. You know, I was not a song and dance guy, but I did song and dance in Wizard of Oz, and played the Scarecrow, and that was like, it was pretty cool. All the little kids coming up afterwards, Scarecrow, you know.
And from that, Ned, I mean, you've been in so many big commercials too. Like you're in Cheerios, Budweiser, Burger King. That's like, if as an actor, that's where you go for, obviously, when you're trying to get out there and you get in these big commercials.
Yeah, you do that, or you do stand-up comedy, you know, because you want to get discovered, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, LA is a tough place, but I was in LA for 18 years, and you know, then I was in New York for 14, and now I'm in Atlanta for my 5th year. I've been doing this a long time, and it's a grind, man. I don't recommend being an actor to anybody. It's unless it's your calling, you know, like it is for me. Like I tried to stop for 4 years, and you know, I went and moved back to my hometown of Danville, Illinois, which has produced some pretty good actors. You know, we produced Dick Van Dyke, Jerry Van Dyke, Gene Hackman. You know, Bobby Short is a great pianist. You know, I mean, we put out some you know, studs in the business, and but I just after a couple of years, I was just like, I told my wife, New York, LA, pick. Like, I'm an actor. I can't do this shit anymore, you know? And so she picked New York, and we went back to New York, and I called my old agent and I said, "Hey, I'm back in New York. You know, do you want to rep me?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." And this was my commercial agent. And a few weeks later, I got a call. Hey, we got an audition for you. It's for a video game. And I go, I'm not doing a video game. I'm an actor. I'm not doing a video game. She says, well, it's by Rockstar. And I was like, who the fuck is Rockstar? And I was a gamer. I've been gaming since Pong, and I had played all the games, every GTA I played, Red Dead Redemption, I played. And she was like, well, they do really cool video games like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. I said, oh, I played those games, but I didn't know who the developer was. You know what I mean? Like I knew the developer was EA Sports. I knew those guys, right? Or, EA, because my favorite game and my son's favorite game when he was little was Tricky, SSX Tricky.
Oh, I love that game. That game is
the best game.
I play it to this day. I still play it. I modded my PlayStation 2 to have the game on it all the times and my PS3 just to be able to play that game.
Yeah. And so we've been playing that since he was like 2 years old. He didn't even know he was playing. He thought he was playing. He'd be with the controller just going like this, and just and I'd be playing, But then as he got older, he was able to play it. He still plays it. He's in college. He's graduating college in a couple of weeks. And he still plays it. He'll come home and hook up turn on the PS2 and stick it in there and play. And he's still, getting 1.5 million on Garibaldi, and stuff. And he's like, oh man, you suck, because he's knocked me off the leaderboard completely. I tried to play it a little while ago, about 3 months or so ago. I hooked it up, tried to play it. I couldn't even figure out how to jump anymore.
Yeah, and especially in Tricky, you have to like hold down the D-pad and do some weird.
Yeah, I don't even know what the D-pad is, but yeah, you gotta do all that stuff. And so anyway, I told my agent, I go, I played those games, Red Dead and GTA and everything. I said, well, send me the material, I'll take a look at it. And I went from I'm not gonna do it to nobody else's. You know what I mean? Because it was so good. And but I didn't know who Rockstar was. On their games, they just put the little box with the R and a star on it. They don't go Rockstar Games really big, or Rockstar, it's in the game big, like EA Sports does. EA, and so that's where I got into that. But as far as the acting thing goes, man, I've been doing it a long time, man. It's a grueling business. You're like this, I've gone broke a couple times. I've been back and forth between LA and Chicago like 5 times, and it's tough, man. You wait tables, you do what you got to do. If it's your calling, I tell everybody, look, if there's anything else you can do and be happy doing it, do that.
Yeah.
If you can't be happy doing anything else, then go for it, but everything's going to suffer. Your wallet's going to suffer. Your relationships are going to suffer. It's a rejection business. You better be able to handle rejection. I got a lot of practice of that, hanging out in the bars when I was younger, hitting on the girls. No thanks. I was ready, but it's like, and you got to have an ego too. You got to be confident in yourself, and that's the hard part. When I first went there, I got out of college. I got a job working at a Genghis Formal Wear, which was a tuxedo rental shop where you rent your tuxedo for prom or weddings, and stuff like that. And they sent me to San Diego to open a franchise and sell it. Right. So while I was in San Diego, I actually auditioned they had a cattle call, and I said, I'm going to go audition for it. And it was for The Outsiders.
Oh, wow.
And so I went in and I read for the greaser brother, Derry, I think is the character's name was. And I show up looking all preppy and stuff, because that was the era. I looked all preppy and everything, and I read for this thing, and I got called back on it, and I read for it again. And then I had to go to LA and read for it again. I'm getting like this thing, and I get to LA, and it's like Patrick Swayze, me and another guy. And of course, Buddy got it. And, the rest is history. So probably, a few years later, I went back out to LA. I had to go back home, and I went back to LA, and I got into an acting class, and both Patrick and Donnie Swayze were in my acting class, right?
Oh my God.
And I always told Buddy Patrick, I said, dude, you stole my freaking career, you bastard.
What was Patrick Swayze like? Was he cool to be
awesome
around?
He was awesome, man. God bless him. Rest in peace. He was awesome, and Donnie, his brother, was awesome. They're just regular dudes from Texas,
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie, a lot of people don't know, Donnie's a freaking tremendous actor. And I don't know them that well because I was only in the class very briefly. I came in there and I did a showcase. And right after the showcase, day after the showcase, I was broke. I went back to Illinois to try to make some money. And it was crazy. That's a weird story because there's a casting director who was the showcases, like your acting class, you put together a bunch of scenes, right? You get 2 people to do a scene, and then next 2 will do a scene, next 2 will do a scene. Now you have maybe 10 or 12 scenes. And you invite the casting community and producers and everybody to come watch, hoping that they'll go, oh, that guy. Yeah, I need that guy, and it's usually no guy, but then outside you got all your pictures are in a bin, so they get it and your name and stuff. And if they want you, they'll pull your picture, and so they have your information, if they want to bring you in to audition for something. So the head of casting at the time at Universal Studios was a gal named Jackie Birch. And so I do this showcase, and I got down to my skivs, and back then I was jacked, man. I mean, I was just coming off being a pole vaulter, I was still jacked. I was like 180 pounds, ripped. And I get down to my shorts, and they're like these little polka dotted shorts that my mom had made me. And I'm doing my scene. And then afterwards we come out, and my pictures are terrible. They're like $50 pictures, that I got from some really crappy photographer in an industry, like, a thing called Drama Log, where these actors who couldn't make it became photographers and took really shitty pictures of actors. I was wearing a tweed sport coat from a secondhand store because I had no money, man. I was making $6 an hour, paying $250 a month in rent. And and I had to take a roommate because I couldn't afford it. So I was paying $125 a month, sleeping on the floor with the cockroaches,
Mm-hmm.
So Jackie comes up to me afterwards. She's got my picture, this shitty picture in her hand. And she goes, I'm Jackie Birch. I'm casting, head of casting at Universal, whatever. And I just thought you were wonderful. You were so good. Who's your agent? And I go, I don't have an agent. And she goes, well, pulls out a card and says, here, I want you to call my assistant, tomorrow, and I'm going to set you up with an agent. And I go, yeah, well, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Chicago tomorrow. I'm going to drive back there and, try to get my SAG card, Screen Actors Guild, get my SAG card, the golden ticket,
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, who's your agent in Chicago? And I said, I don't have an agent in Chicago. She goes, all right, we'll call tomorrow, and I'm going to set you up with an agent in Chicago. So I went, said, okay, great. Called, got the name of a lady named Herice Davidson, who was a big agent in Chicago. And I go into her office, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Ned Luke. Jackie Birch referred me. Oh, okay, great. Looks at the picture, goes, well, these are terrible. We're going to get new pictures. I go, well, how much does that cost? Oh, I don't know, a few hundred maybe. I'm like, oh, God, I don't have that. And this is back in the day. We had no answering machines. There was no answering, So I gave her my mom and dad's phone number. They didn't have an answering machine. And I went off to work for the horse people that I'd worked for since I was a kid. And 2 years go by, right? And I'm shoveling shit, training horses, breaking colts, doing whatever, grooming them, just working, trying to make a little bit of money. And 6:30 in the morning, I'll never forget, 6:30 in the morning, I'm shoveling stalls, cleaning stalls, literally shoveling shit. And I said to Jeanette Durant, who was like a second mom to me, I said, Jeanette, I can't do this anymore. I go, I'm an actor. I got to go to Chicago. She goes, Well, it's about damn time. Right. And I literally put down my shit and went and started to get in my car to go to Chicago. It's like 6:30 in the morning. Nothing's open. And she goes, Natalie, don't you think you should take a shower first? I'm like, because I'm out shoveling shit, man. This is how amped up I was. Like, oh, yeah, good idea. So I went and took a shower, went in, and I walked into her office, to Jackie Reese Davis's office again. And I go, hey, I'm Ned Luke. I was referred by Jackie Birch. I didn't say 2 years ago. And the assistant is like, the receptionist gets on the phone and on the, little speakerphone thing. He goes, there's a Ned Luke out here, says he was referred by Jackie Birch. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And Harisse comes out and she's like, where have you been? She goes, and we got into the conversation. I said, well, I've been shoveling shit in Orland Park, and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, are you ready to do this for real? And I said, yeah, I am. And she goes, okay, great. She gets this casting director named Jane Heights on the phone. And she's talking to her. She goes, and Jane's got this gig that they're casting. And it's a commercial. And she goes, well, I want you to come. I want you to see this guy when you meet him. And she's like, well, we're casting for something right now. I haven't come over. So I go over to Jane Heights and I audition for this commercial. And it's for LaSalle National Bank in Chicago. I'll never forget. And the dude is elegant. Oh, he's just like elegant, smooth, right? They're having dinner. He's drinking wine. He's like, steak, whatever. He's elegant. And I do the audition. I booked it. I get the job, right? So it's crazy. I get the freaking job, first audition, and they send me out. I had to get a manicure and everything, and I'm like going, "Oh wow, man, this is freaking awesome, dude!" I'm so
the life of an actor, huh?
Yeah, I'm so smooth, man.
Yeah.
I show up to the set, and there's two guys in the spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them is very elegant, the other one's an animal. He's like knocking over the wine glass. He breaks the bread. The crumbs go everywhere. Guess which guy I was? Yeah, I was the guy. I wasn't the elegant guy. I'm busted. And it was just hands. It was just hands. And it was like, so I'm doing all this shit and I'm knocking shit over and I'm busting, the glass goes flying, the breadcrumbs fly, the steak, gets chopped up. And that was my first job. My first job was a hand job.
If you were enjoying this show, why not leave a review on Apple Podcasts? Believe it or not, really helps out the show. If you want to help out the show further, we also have a Patreon. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, a little goes a long way. We have exclusive content there that can help you in becoming a filmmaker. That's a great punchline on the end. And that, like you can tell, I mean, in your heart, you're an actor, man. It's in your veins.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I got to do. It's like I say, it's my calling, and but I'm not an actor. You know what I mean? I'm not actory. I'm not like artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
I guess I'm an artist in a way, but I'm not, like I have another life, like I'm a dad. I'm a baseball coach. I'm a husband. I'm a go out on my boat and have fun. I'm go, play catch with my nephews. I go to my nieces and nephews' games. I go, you know what I mean? I'm not, the whole life doesn't revolve around it, but it's what I do.
Yeah. And you're good at it. You're of course good at it. And like,
but it's the only thing that I've ever been happy doing, so it's, and I've tried a lot of stuff, man. I've sold cars. I've, waited tables, tended bar. And these are the things that you got to do when you're an actor. I to pay for my acting class in LA, I would get up at 5:30 in the morning and go and clean the theater after all the entitled actors whose mom and dad were paying for the classes, right? Had been in there messing the joint up all night, for class, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom, Friday morning up, cleaning that theater. So I didn't have to pay for class, but it's what you do. It's what you do. And you've got to be that dedicated.
Yeah. And you mentioned GTA 5, and I feel like for an actor, that's probably the best game you could sort of get into, where especially with motion capture technology becoming big, and you signed up because it's full body acting, it's not voice acting, it's you.
Well, pretty much everything is that these days. I mean, from what I understand, like talking to the guys from Baldur's Gate, and stuff, they were like, I guess, in a box or something. Like they really didn't do a lot of interactive motion capture from what I understand. And which was weird to me because ours was like a film shoot. You know, we had multiple cameras and stuff. You know, we had all these little young geniuses that just in stuff. Like I show up on set and boy wonder, Corey Alderman, who was the mocap king, he goes, Ned, yeah, see this, come here. And he's got two little like foot long 2x4s, right? Staggered like this, one nailed on top of the other one with markers, you know, balls, reflective balls that the cameras capture, like your mocap suit, right? And he goes, come here. And he points this thing at me, and we had this big screen, huge screen up on the wall where before we would go, they would put up there and you could see like what the set was. So you had to use your imagination because my my mansion was basically pipes and boxes and you know, ropes and, you know, stuff like that. And so we would see that. Well, when he pointed that camera at me, my character popped up in the thing. He made a camera out of these things. So then they go out and they get these old VHS camera recorders, right? Just the box, just the camera thing. No tapes in them or anything. And they put the balls on them. And they're able to, so we have like multi cameras shooting. We got like Joe Rubino's running close-ups. You know, he's like one of the DPs and he's doing this with one. Then we got the major, and then you got all the 100 cameras or so that are everywhere else that are capturing your motion, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It was amazing. And but the scenes were like film scenes. I'm here, Steven's here, Solo's there, and we're acting together, right?
Yeah.
So all of the cut scenes that you see, that's all motion capture. Okay, that's all performance capture. Roger likes to call it. Roger Clark, he calls it performance capture. Everybody's calling it performance capture now. You know, and don't call him a voice actor, whatever you do. But I mean, I don't give a shit. But you know, so that's all the mocap, right? And when you're doing this, right, with the game, with the controller, anything we're doing in that's voice.
Right. Okay.
Right. So that's where we've recorded all the voice work and stuff. Like there's a really great scene between Trevor and me where we're going to, I think it's the Paleto Bay Score, and it's the hipster rant. I call it the hipster. That was all voiceover. That wasn't motion capture. That was all voiceover.
Right. And the lines, like when you guys were given a scene, like a big, say, performance or motion capture scene where you're doing it like a movie, was that always changing, or was the script more or less the same, or was it the day before they're like, hey, by the way,
no, we've changed this
up.
We got stuff day before, try day of. So Dr. Friedlander stuff, all my Dr. Friedlander stuff, we were shooting stuff, and we had shot, you know, a couple things with him, you know, like I don't know which one, but I think we had done like the family scene or whatever. I don't know. But so that was it, right? All the Michael in the office stuff, we hadn't done that. We weren't going to do it. They come to me at lunch and go and hand me 17 pages, right? Now, Friedlander had his stuff. He had his shit memorized, right? I didn't have my stuff yet. They didn't give me because we were going to do it that day. We were supposed to do it, I think, the next day or the day after or something like that. But evidently he was not available those days. So they handed it to me at lunch and go, we're going to do this after lunch. 17 pages.
17?
I had to learn that stuff on the spot. So it was, you know, I mean, by then, you know, your brain becomes muscle really, and your memory becomes muscle. Like I was always pretty good at picking something up, like in the audition for the thing. We went, you know, we auditioned, we had the material, which was the rant scene with Frielander. where I ranted. Your son James, he's a good kid, right? Only it was with the wife, and for the audition. And anyway, so I that was the scene. So we had done that, heard nothing for a month or so. Then I'd forgotten everything, I'd thrown the shit away, and get a phone call from the agent. Hey, they want, you got a call back for the video game Rush. They called it Rush. It wasn't even Grand Theft Auto 5, the sneaky bastards. And so we show up down there at their offices, and the assistant brought out 7 pages, new material. Everyone had prepared the same stuff that they auditioned with. There was 2 Michaels and two Trevors. We call it an act off, right? and the way it worked was Steven went in with the other Michael. I went in with the other Trevor. Those 2 guys went in together, and Steven and I went in together last. So the assistant hands us this new paper, this new scene. It's a whole new scene. And the other Michael is like, oh my God, wait. He reaches in his jacket pocket, he pulls out the other, we're not doing this? And she goes, no, we're going to do this material for today. I knew I had him then because he was panicking, right? Meanwhile, I'm reading this stuff going, oh man, this is fucking good. This is good. I like this. I'm reading it and I'm memorizing it because it was like good. When something's good, it's easy to memorize. It's easy to memorize. And the scene, I believe, was the graveyard scene.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good one to do as well. Yeah.
So I'm looking this stuff over. Those 2 guys go in. Steven goes in. I go in with the other Trevor. It's not good. The other 2 guys go in, and we're sitting out there, and I said to Steven, I go, how was your guy? He goes, oh, he was okay. He's, like not giving me. I said, my guy sucked, man. I said, I hope you can bring it. And he goes, oh, I can bring it. And I go, all right, good. Let's fucking do it then. We went in.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, we went in and we literally threw down the scripts.
Wow.
I had it that cold. Threw down the scripts, did some improvising, of course, but we went in and we went at it. Steven actually hit me upside the head, and I came back, man. I was like, and I just went, bam, and I jacked right in the chest with a palm strike, like this. And they were going crazy, and then we pulled guns on each other, right? Not real guns, but take the fucking shot. They got more to lose than you. That thing.
Yeah.
And we had a guy that was taping the audition, and there was another guy that was like kind of behind the scenes kind of thing. He's just been filming the whole deal from a completely different angle. You can see the director and the camera guy and all that kind of stuff. He's filming that, and you could hear him going, Geth, and you could hear him going like that, And I just knew it, knew that we had that. But that's the whole memorization thing, is
it's a muscle. It's a muscle that comes in handy in moments like that.
Yes, and if the material is good, then and they gave me freedom to improvise, also. So I was able to do a lot of improvisation, ad-libbing, and that kind of stuff. Now, Steven, different story. Steven stuck to the script pretty much verbatim, to the point where there was a misprint, a typo. I can't remember the line. But anyway, there was a misprint, and he actually said it the way it was miswritten, right? Because he thought that was funny. So he said it, the way it was written. It made no fucking sense, but he said it that way anyway. And of course, it's in the game. But he stuck.
I'd love to find that now. Find the misprint.
Yeah. Dunham. It's something I can't remember what it is, but it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, he stuck to the script completely, and we did too, but we would change stuff. I always joke that, because you get these Scottish guys writing this stuff, right? I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand this stuff. I don't say I was meant to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say, hey, I was supposed to be, it wasn't meant to go like this, right? The opening thing. It wasn't meant to go like this. No, for me, it's It wasn't supposed to go down like this. You know what I mean?
And did they give you freedom to add in your
Oh, yeah.
accurate version of your accents then?
And so I kind of like, and it was part of developing my character, you know, that I had. And as long as everything was on track, they only told me one time. Rod came up to me, the director. He says, Ned, they want you to do the line exactly as written. And I'm like, the line sucks. And he goes, trust me, this is the line. They want you to do it exactly as written. All right. If I get 1,000 things every day, how about you make sure this is one of them?
That becomes your
line, right?
That's your line. That's your line forever.
It's
Michael,
the iconic line that everybody wants. See, that's why they're Rockstar and I'm not. Because I thought the line sucked. I thought it was corny and stupid, and I didn't want to do it. And I was trying to change it a number of different ways, and I couldn't find the rhythm for it, you know, because it was written, you forget 1,000 things every day. Make sure this is one of them. Didn't work for me for some reason, you know, just a click, you know. So at the end of the day, I was finally, I did it. I was able to slip a pal in there, you know, because I couldn't make it sound badass. You know, it sounded like nerdy to me, you know, and I wanted it to be a badass line. So finally I was able to go, you forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them. And it was badass.
It was badass. It was. It worked.
When I heard that, I was like, motherfuckers, man. You guys are so damn smart. But you know, Solo and I, we had to, you know, it's like I joke, we had to learn a new language, you know, English.
Yeah.
Because it's not how we speak. I'm a street kid. Solo's from the hood, you know, he's an ex-gangbanger. Yeah. So it's like, how do we, and he was having a hard time because he doesn't call anybody mate. You know, for him, it's you know, the N-word or it's, you know, motherfucker, or it's, you know, whatever, you know, and dog, you know, whatever. And so he was having a really tough time. So the guy who played Dave Norton, Julian Gamble, terrific actor. I was working with Shawn trying to get him comfortable. He was very uncomfortable. And Julian said, you were a rapper, right? Yeah. Well, when you were doing your raps, how did you do those? Because he couldn't memorize anything, you know? And he goes, yeah, shit, man, I just wrote shit down, you know? And then I remember it. He goes, write it down. And that's what we started doing. Started taking his stuff and translating it and would write it into the margins of the page. And then he got it. And then he started to feel that rhythm and get that flow, you know?
Yeah, it's like learning a new language. And
yeah,
and like I have to say,
we actually had to go back. We actually had to go back and reshoot stuff because once Solo got comfortable, it was a completely different performance. Completely different performance. He became an actor the day that we did the scene where I confessed to him that I was working for the feds.
And from there, he got into his groove and he became an actor.
Kid, Franklin, that scene.
Yeah.
We went back and refilmed a bunch of stuff because it just, you know, well, we had new equipment come in and stuff. And then we were like, you know what, we got to, you know, they were like, we got to refilm that stuff because he's just too good now. You know, you were going to say what?
I want to be respectful of your time, Ned. I have to say, GTA 5 is a game that means a lot to me. I mean, I have my original PlayStation 3 launch copy of the game right here. Back from 2013. I remember.
You don't have any signatures on it, though.
I don't. I'd love to get your name on it one day.
Where are you based out of?
Dublin, Ireland.
Oh my God, we were in Dublin last year. Why didn't you come?
I know. Well, I didn't have the time or the money, to be honest. But next time, I will show up. I think we have to get a few things signed. But Ned, I remember
we're actually going to be in Lisburn.
Lisburn, Belfast, or Northern Ireland, isn't it? Yeah.
Northern Ireland. Yeah.
I'll be there.
We're going to be there. I'll tell you when.
Okay, I'll write this down.
I'll tell all your people when.
Okay.
We are going to be there sometime. September 6th and 7th.
September 6th and 7th. Okay, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
Save up some money. We'll hook you up.
I remember back when I would have been about, say, I'm 25 now, but I would have been about 13 years old. And I remember I went with my older brother, Andrew, would have been about 21 at the time. He's like, all right, we're going to skip the first 3 classes of school and we're going to go pick up a copy of GTA. And that was this copy here. So it's an amazing memory. And if I told that kid now that you're going to be talking to the main character of that game back, say, over 10 years later, I don't think he ever would have believed me. So thanks for coming on.
I always say, like I remember early on doing an interview. They said, and my son was 11 when the game came out. So they said, well, your son's 11, all this violence and, whatever in the thing. I go, my kid ain't playing this game till he's in college, and this other magazine picked up that, or article picked up that quote, and they said, lead actor in Grand Theft Auto 5 won't let his own kid play the game, and I was like, they made me like father of the year. But what I was going to say about that is that I don't remember because I'm a boomer. Early on in the interview, I said to somebody, I go, they go, what? How do you think this is going to be? I said, I don't know, but I'm gonna ride this 15 minutes of fame as long as I can. And you should.
You'll always be known as Michael, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. You had no idea that this 15 minutes was going to be like 11 years. We got 10 or 12 Comic-Cons that we're going through this year that I got this brand partnership with Asus gaming computers, like ROG Republic.
Oh yeah.
15 minutes.
It's a bit longer.
It's a long 15 minutes, man.
I have 2 fans from the set as well. I really want to wave to you. Chris and Chloe, just come on. You can go over here. Just say hello to Ned real quick. There's Chris right here, and then we have Chloe who we're talking to.
Hi, Chloe.
We'll see you in Belfast in September.
Yes,
we'll be better. You better. What's the relationship here between you guys?
This is my brother Chris here. We're brothers,
okay.
And then Chloe is my girlfend over here.
So we all on the page.
Are you kidding me? She's way too good looking for you.
I know. I hear it all the time.
Oh my God. Chloe, you better step up, girl. You can kick this guy to the curb.
We're gonna mute Chloe's headphones now. She doesn't have to hear that part. But Ned, it's been awesome to have you on the show, man. I can't thank you enough.
My pleasure, dude.
Yeah, it's been a real treat. So thanks so much for coming on.
You got it. All you guys out there, just go. Whoever's watching this, go follow my stuff.
Yeah, you're on TikTok too. You're always playing GTA, huh?
Yeah, I do the live streaming.
Uncharted 4 too.
Yeah, right now I'm doing Uncharted 4, and then I live stream, online as well. I'm actually going to live stream later today, but I do it on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. I always say subscribing is winning. Everything else is bullshit. Whatever it takes, subscribe. And subscribe to these guys too.
Thanks, Ned. And I'll probably see you on the live stream. I'm always on GTA Online.
All right, buddy.
All right, cool. See you, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Later.
What did he say? He said he'll turn your headphones off.
Oh, he was like, what the hell, man? She's way too good looking to be with you.
No way!
Yeah. He goes, Chloe, you gotta step up. Wow, Ned Luke, Michael DeSanta. That was cool having him on. I think he likes my girlfriend.
Just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe you should watch out, man.
That's a compliment. He was hilarious.
He was indeed. Yeah, no. I'm never prepared for having to say hello to our guest for some reason, even though I specifically asked to say hello. But yeah, it was.
It's Michael DeSanta. You had to say hello.
That's it.
Maybe we'll get Franklin next or Trevor.
You never know. You never know. Yeah, and I'm just as much of a GTA fan as Jamie.
I thought you were more of a Spyro guy.
Don't think they correlate really together. Yeah, no, I remember playing it in not Jamie's room, my other brother's room when he went to clubs and stuff like that. He let me play his copy in his room, and yeah, those were the days. 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I think
definitely
so.
way too young to be playing that game.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't do any harm, If anything, it just makes you,
I think I turned out fine.
Well, almost.
So yeah, no, Ned Luke had a lot to talk about when it came to his first acting gigs. I found fascinating the stories that he had to tell. That dude can really hold an interview, can he?
He can, and I mean his stories are so interesting when he talks about
like
being an actor. You tell in his bones, this man is, he loves what he does, which is acting.
And he's very honest about it as well, as all actors usually are. It's if you really want to do it, then do it. Especially when it comes to working in probably like the video game industry as well. There is crossover there, but yeah, he was just an actor for film and TV, and then he tipped his toes in there, and then
he is now the third guest we've had who was in a Rockstar Games game.
That's really
yeah.
cool.
We've had Roger Clark, we've had Alex McKenna, and now we have Ned Luke.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Jamie, have you seen Sinners?
Sinners, no, but I do want to watch it. Everyone's saying it's fantastic. It's Ryan Coogler, isn't it? Eddie
Yes.
Steinfeld,
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it tomorrow, and I hear there's an Irish vampire who basically does an Irish dance, if I'm correct. Basically, the vampires, not to spoil anything, they want to get the normal people outside their homes, and there's actually an Irish vampire that does a kind of Irish dance to get people out of their homes. And I don't know who the actor is. Chloe, do you know?
I don't know, but I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it on TikTok, yeah.
But yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
it's
So
like 100% Rotten Tomatoes or something, isn't it?
yeah, no, definitely excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, I've been watching a lot of Severance. Severance is brilliant. I'm a little bit late to the game, probably
Very late
3
to the
years.
game.
Yeah, but it's a fucking brilliant show.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. No, we were hoping to get one of the guys who done the titles for Severance, and you know what? It's still up in the air. We might get them.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully, very cool to get any of the people that worked on that production. I've been obsessed with Ben Stiller podcasts, and you know,
Ben
yeah.
Stiller is just an underrated actor. He's always been brilliant. You know,
Yes.
Tropic Thunder, Night at the Museum, everything he's in is good.
And he really understands how to make films as well, and TV. He's a good director. Recently uploaded a clip of him onto the page, and he's just so insightful. He's clearly doing something right with Severance, and yeah, I can't wait for more of it.
Big time, big time. Well, anyway, that's it for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week with who we have.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, but well, here's a little bit of a hint. He starred in an episode of Cobra Kai.